Hey everybody, it's your old pal Brian Hunt. Welcome to another episode of 60 Seconds of Risk. And as we talk a lot on this channel and this show, we talk about risk in all its different facets. You buy life insurance because maybe you're going to die. You save your money for retirement way in advance. But a lot of us don't have necessarily a plan for when something really bad goes wrong, and specifically because somehow, some way, one too many drinks, you lose your temper or something, you're finding yourself under the extreme focus of law enforcement. So, like anything else, you need to have a plan when the worst case happens. And so, to that point, I wanted to invite Jennifer to come on the show and talk about her background in criminal law. So thanks for coming on the show, Jennifer.
Thank you for having me.
So Jennifer, tell us a little about the firm.
Sure. So I'm a partner at a law firm here in Dallas called McCathern. We actually are not only in Dallas. So we have an office up in Frisco, we have an office in LA, Santa Monica area, an office in Houston, and we are a full service firm. So we are not a criminal defense boutique or a only family law or only corporate law. We really truly are a full service firm that can facilitate and help improve any of our clients' lives, any of their issues, kind of handle matters that pop up. I deal specifically in criminal issues as well as some other areas. That is really kind of a small piece of the reality that most people hope they never are in.
Amen. And that's the point of risk. You plan for the worst and hope for the best. So Jennifer, real quickly, what was your background as far as before you came here?
Sure. So I was actually a prosecutor for a very, very, very long time. So I was a chief prosecutor, so one of the senior people in Houston at the Harris County DA's office for almost 10 years. And then my family relocated to Dallas. So I claim Dallas now, but I started over at the DA's office in Dallas and left just last year after 8 years. So almost 18 years total being a prosecutor and dealing directly with law enforcement day in, day out.
All right, so you've seen a lot of different cases.
Seen all of them.
All of them. So Jennifer, what is the basic fundamental rights people necessarily don't understand? And let me put it this way. I used to do fraud investigation internally for corporates. And like I tell, you ain't gonna talk your way out of it. So if somehow, some way, someone finds themselves in a jammed up situation, what is the best way to react?
So it is counterintuitive with what people normally do.
Okay.
And you just said it.
Yeah.
So my number one rule is say less. Just say less.
Yeah.
I really think, I think it's easy for lawyers to say, you should hire a lawyer. Criminal world, for sure, you need an attorney. I also think that for like normal everyday people who've maybe gotten wrapped up in something that they shouldn't have, or there's false accusations against them, it is human nature to want to kind of tell your side of the story and say like, no, this is what really happened. You need an attorney who can come in and say, we're not telling our side right now. That way you don't feel like you're the bad guy or like you're hiding something or you're guilty of something. But also it allows, it just allows a buffer and creates some time in between the actual investigation and any sort of interview. If you are speaking with any law enforcement, whether it's just a police officer in a traffic stop or a DWI or some sort of big fraud investigation, because I handle those, the answer is say less. If you say anything at all, the answer is say less.
And I think you and I chatted about this before, but doesn't it also make sense to maybe it's like say, I know you, I'm going to put you on my cell phone. If I get pulled over or something's happened, should I say, put you on the phone and if you can get you on the phone?
Yeah.
So,
No, I mean, that's really it. So, I have been thinking about this and I was like, I don't want it to be shameless self-promotion, but I give out my cell phone number to just about everybody because these situations don't get planned. Yeah. They don't. I'm not an 8 to 5 lawyer. I'm not an 8 to 8 lawyer. I'm a 24/7. When emergencies pop up, my job is to help fix them as best I can and or to help guide you through it. And so that means you call me on cell and I get on speaker if I can make it over to where you're at, not necessarily like in a DWI, but for other situations, I'm going to go out there and meet almost immediately so that I can help navigate and then also kind of helping guide and craft through the path with law enforcement as it's ongoing. The other piece of this and what we often don't think about until we're in it, I think from a business owner or employer or manager standpoint, is what do you do when one of your employees has some allegations against them? Okay. And that's just kind of another space within the space, and it's the same answer. It is lawyer up and say less. Let the lawyer do we may talk, but not right now, because everyone wants to kind of overshare or appear cooperative, explain your side, and that oftentimes gets twisted or taken out of context, and it really doesn't benefit the client or the individual themselves.
And to wrap up, like I talk about my days when I was in fraud and internal investigations, a criminal investigation is different than a corporate internal investigation.
Very much so.
Because criminal, you have the right to keep your mouth shut.
Correct.
Corporate, you keep your mouth shut, they can fire you.
Correct.
And I'll just let you know, I put a lot of people refer to federal authorities. You ain't talking your way out of it. So, I mean, this reinforces the fact, especially even like the corporate internal investigation. I mean, it's like not to say you made it, like the decision is you tell something or go ahead and get fired, but knowing you told something that's going to be used against you is like, you got to make a business decision.
Yeah. And in the criminal world versus in the kind of civil, private, corporate world, you have the right not to say anything and for it not to be used against you. Now, human nature is you want to give your side of the story, right? It's always a he said, she said, and really there's three sides to every story, right? His side, her side, and then the truth somewhere in the center. But for criminal contacts, you have no idea what the investigator or the person doing the interview has already heard, and if their minds have already been made up, even just subconsciously. So there is no benefit in talking until you've kind of lawyered up and worked through exactly what you think the allegations may be, and if this is truly in your best interest.
Yeah, to close on that, I used to work with some former cops, and cops spend their life basically as a hammer, and everything they see is a nail. And so if you're under their attention, more than likely, they're really probably thinking you already did it. Okay. Jennifer, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
As all times, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this. If there's a certain topic or individual I may see on the show, please post a note on LinkedIn. You can also subscribe to these videos on YouTube, and you can also find links to the website formerly known as Twitter, as well as on Substack. Until next time, guys. Bye.